Hello guys, welcome back to your channel 1000 Manga Recap. In the last episode, we saw Wu-chan and Xiaodai doing exercise. Now, moving forward, we see Wu-chan and Xiaodai. Wu-chan said, Xiaodai, don't worry about Chinging and Chi-min's nephew anymore in the future. Xiaodai said, I'm actually nothing, I just don't like them bothering you, Mr. Wu. We see Li Ruobing's call. Li Ruobing said, darling, you didn't call me for 2 days and then go and cause such a big scene without even a word. Wu-chan said, what are you talking about? Li Ruobing replied, let me ask, though I already know the answer, teacher Chenwu, who put a lot of effort into Menlan, couldn't really wait to make their debut, right? Wu-chan thinks, and Menlan's new album has been released? I was so busy today that I couldn't check. Li Ruobing romantically said, come back as soon as you finish the task, bigger things are waiting for you at home. Scene shifts to the next day. We see Su Chinging. Su Chinging happily said, darling. Su Chinging hugged Wu-chan. Wu-chan said, Chinging is here as well. Su Chinging happily said, I haven't been able to see you for a few more days, I miss you so much. I want to kiss and hug. Li Ruobing thinks, Chinging is usually a normal woman, but when it comes to Wu-chan, she becomes abnormal. Ha! Wu-chan said, tell me, what's going on? That even Chinging has to come. Li Ruobing said, ask her yourself. Wu-chan is confused and asked Chinging. Su Chinging came close and said, darling, I want to have a baby. Wu-chan is looking at Su Chinging. We see Su Chinging's innocent face. We see Li Ruobing looks happy. Wu-chan said, Chinging, you might not have enough energy to take care of the company when you are pregnant. Su Chinging smiles and said, I know, but I just want to have a child with my darling. Wu-chan thinks, my relationship with Chinging cannot be made public now, and even in the future, it will also be very difficult. It would be nice if she has a child to keep her company and make her happier. Wu-chan said while patting Su Chinging's head, okay fine, we'll have a child. Su Chinging happily said while leaving, I will go back to take proper care of my body and prepare for the pregnancy as well, darling. I will call you when I'm ready. Ruobing, I'll be leaving, hee hee. Li Ruobing said, this girl, I'm really impressed. Wu-chan said, Chinging seems to be in a hurry, are you also in a hurry? Li Ruobing said, I'm anxious as well, but I'm eager to meet your parents much more. So if there's nothing else to do today, let's go see them. Wu-chan thinks, it seems that Chinging's request gave Ruobing a little stimulation, making her want to solidify her position. We see Wu-chan laughing. Li Ruobing makes a cute face and says, yeah, go ahead and laugh and then leave without any objections. Scene shifts to Wu-chan's father's house. Li Ruobing surprisingly said, darling, you grew up here? Wu-chan asked, what happened, you don't like it? Li Ruobing happily said, there's nothing to dislike, I just think it's strange. How did this kind of environment raise my man into such a good man? Wu-chan said, perhaps I'm just that much of a genius. Li Ruobing happily said, don't be silly, let's go. We see Wu-chan's father's house. Wu-chan said, Mom, Dad, this is Ruobing. We see Wu-chan's parents. Wu-chan's mother smiles and says, oh, come in, why did you buy so many things? Wu-chan's father said, oh dear, Bing Bing. Don't just stand there, come and sit down. We see someone knocking on the door. Wu-chan's father asked, who is it? Wu-chan's father opened the door and asked, Old Chen, why did you come back? Chen said, Old Wu, I have something to tell you. Chen enters the room and gets surprised. Chen surprisingly said, Boss Li? Wu-chan's parents get surprised and think, is Old Chen referring to our son's girlfriend? Chen said while shaking hands, Boss Li, you might have forgotten. I am Chen Jinia from Xingye Chemical. Li Ruobing said, hello Mr. Chen. Chen said, Boss Li, are you speaking to Xiaochen? Li Ruobing happily said, Wu-chen is my boyfriend. Wu-chen's father said, Bing Bing, Old Chen, don't be strangers. Come and sit down. Chen came closer and slowly said, Old Wu, you're lucky. Xiaochen just graduated from college and has already found a billionaire with an amazing background as his girlfriend. Wu-chen's father gets surprised. We see Li Ruobing looking cute. Wu-chen's father asked, what did you say, Lao Chen? Bing Bing is a billionaire boss. Chen slowly replied, geez Old Wu, what do you want me to say? Your future daughter-in-law has large factories that produce cosmetics and has a net worth of 2 to 3 billion yuan. Wu-chen's father thinks, how can this be, how can Xiaochen keep up with such a person? Wu-chen's mother said, what are you doing? We're waiting for you to eat. Chen said, sister-in-law, this is a family dinner, so I don't want to bother you. Old Wu, let's talk some other time. We see the dinner table. Wu-chen's mother said, Bing Bing, try the vegetables and see if they suit your taste. Son, don't just be eating by yourself, pick up some vegetables for Bing Bing. Li Ruobing happily said, "Auntie, this is very delicious." Wu Chen's father said, "Bing Bing, it's your first time coming to our house for dinner. Uncle is very happy. But Uncle has to be frank, you are in charge of such a big business, and this is the situation of our family. You're such a good girl, I'm afraid he will hold you back." Li Ruobing made a serious face and said, "Uncle, I'm pregnant." Wu Chen's parents get surprised. Wu Chen's mother surprisingly asked, "Huh? You're pregnant? How long have you been pregnant?" Li Ruobing said, "Not too long ago. I found out when I went to the hospital for a physical examination, and the doctor told me that I had been pregnant for about 20 days. Wu Chen's father said, "Xiao Chen, what's wrong with you? Don't you even know how to take safety measures?" Li Ruobing said, "Uncle, it's not that he was careless, I asked Wu Chen for it." Li Ruobing continued, "I am 27 years old and have achieved a little success in my career. When it comes to the issue of having a child, Wu Chen is not too anxious. He is 5 years younger than me and just graduated from college. Maybe he doesn't want to get into it so early." Wu Chen's father surprisingly said, "Damn it, Bing Bing is willing to marry you and bear your child, and yet you're unwilling?" Wu Chen's mother said, "Xiao Chen, Mom is not going to be happy with you if you act like this. How could you treat a lady like this? Don't worry, Bing Bing. In the future, Mom will take care of things for you. If Wu Chen doesn't listen, I'll help you deal with him." Later that night, Li Ruobing said, "Darling, when I told your parents that I was pregnant, I just said it without much thought. Hope you were not angry." Wu Chen said, "What's there to be angry about? Let's just hurry up and implement it, okay?" Li Ruobing shyly said, "Are you going to be alright? Chinging also wants to have a child." Wu Chen pulls Li Ruobing towards him. We see a romantic atmosphere. Wu Chen said, "Don't worry, I can handle it." Li Ruobing said sensually, "Yes, I'm sure you can, that's why Qian Qian, Chinging, Xiaodai, Wu Yurong, and Menglan." We see Wu Chen starting the exercise. Wu Chen said, "It seems it's time to punish a naughty one." Li Ruobing said sensually, "You bad guy, Han." The next day, Li Ruobing said, "There should have been quite a few people who wanted to take down Mao Rusong, right?" Wu Chen said, "A few minutes before and after Mao Rusong's accident, 80% of the traffic on the road section came from Chao Liangping's group." Li Ruobing said, "How did you know that those many cars came from his group?" Wu Chen said, "I'm an information broker, so I can identify the factions of influential figures and the cars they use." Wu Chen called Gu and said, "Boss Gu, check Chao Liangping's call records to know who he spoke to before and after Mao Rusong's accident. Rough him up if you have to, but detain him after he has confessed." Gu Ruibo said, "Okay, Mr. Wu, I'll get it done." 40 minutes later, we see Su Qingying's office. Wu Chen thinks, once Qingying gets pregnant, she won't be able to hide the pregnancy for long. No matter how bad her father's health is, he will eventually find out. Qingying will never reveal the identity of the child's father, even if it kills her, and that might cause Mr. Su to be angry, maybe fatally so. At that time, rumors are bound to fly around, and that will cause the stock price of Jinfu Group to plummet. With competitors taking advantage of the opportunity to acquire shares and losing control of the group, Qingying and the child will be in trouble in the future. My coming here today is to prevent that from happening." Wu Chen asked, "Is Mr. Su around?" Zhang asked, "Excuse me, who are you?" Su Qingying happily said, "Mr. Wu." Su Qingying calmed herself and said, "Xiao Zhang, go to the finance department and review last month's accounts with Huansai Cosmetics." Zhang is confused and said, "Huh? Do we have such an account? Okay, I'll go right away." Su Qingying closed the door and jumped on Wu Chen. Su Qingying said, "Husband, you came to see me. I'm so happy. We only just agreed to have a child yesterday, and yet my husband is here. You couldn't wait." Wu Chen said, "We're in the company, let's restrain ourselves." We see someone opening the door. We see Su Qingying's father. His name is Su Ruiwen. Su Ruiwen said, "Qingying, there's a document from this morning's meeting that hasn't been finalized yet." Su Qingying immediately moved away from Wu Chen. We see Su Qingying's red face. Su Ruiwen felt suspicious and thought, Qingying is acting strange, and it seems to be because of the young man standing beside her. "Who is he?" Su Qingying nervously said, "Dad, this is Mr. Wu Chen." Su Qingying said, "Mr. Wu, this is my father." Su Ruiwen thinks, Wu Chen, that man who took Qingying away from the golf course at that time. We see he thinks about the past. One man said, "Wu Chen is my sworn brother. Anyone who makes things difficult for Wu Chen is making things difficult for me, Lu Guangyan." Wu Yurong said, "Who would want to have a problem with Wu Chen when he's this good? Sadly, I can't become 20 years younger, or else I would have married him." Another man said, "Recently, the Tang family and the Li family almost became enemies because Xiao Guizi was almost killed. Mr. Wu was the one who helped settle the feud between them." We return to the present. Su Ruiwen said while shaking hands. Recently, I have been hearing people talk about Mr. Wu, who is young and promising. But you and Chinging. Wu Chen said, Ruobing is busy, so I'm here to deliver a document to Mr. Su on her behalf. Su Ruiwen said, is that right? Chinging, show me the files. Su Chinging gets nervous and said, oh, Dad, let me check. Su Ruiwen thinks, do you still need to look for the documents that were just delivered? How could my daughter be so ridiculous in doing things? This is obviously a farce. I want to see what's going on. Su Chinging looks nervous. If you like my video, please share and subscribe.